Estás viendo Canal América, televisión dominicana para el mundo.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard. You don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart. Yeah. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got, but the world takes you down. You just keep moving on. Let your fears.
Bienvenidos al Tiempo para la Verdad. Welcome to a Time for Truth show. Hoy tenemos un huésped muy especial. Today we have a really special guest for you. Mi hija, my daughter. Ingeniero, por favor, los imágenes. All right. Meghan Fialkoff Rahnama. She's an event producer, artist, global humanitarian, happily married to her husband Eamon, and mother to their son Darius. She co-founded the Americas chapter of the nonprofit Drug Education Foundation for a Drug-Free World in 2006 with her father, Dr. Bernard Fialkoff, upon graduating with a public relations degree from the University of Maryland. Her mission was to reach all New York City schools with drug-free, healthy living. In no time, the chapter spread like wildfire throughout New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and subsequently into the Dominican Republic, Haiti, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and French Guiana, and delivered more than 1,800 events, all while establishing partnerships with Miss New York, Miss Connecticut, Miss Teen Ohio, Miss Delaware, there you see I'm on the screen, Miss New Jersey, the New Jersey Attorney General's Office, the New York Senate Task Force on Heroin and Opioids, the Harlem Wizards, the Harlem Globetrotters, New York City Police Department, amongst hundreds of other partnerships that were established, culminating with an opening bell ceremony for the NASDAQ opening day, which was featured on Bloomberg, Live Fox, CNBC, BNN. Meghan also coordinated annual floats at the New York City Puerto Rican Day Parade with the National Latino Officers Association and the Truth About Drug concerts and events with the NFL Alumni Association, annual conventions at the United Nations, all while traveling around the world as a keynote humanitarian speaker of events in varied locations such as Budapest, Tokyo, Colombia, Paris, Hamburg, Moscow, Vancouver, and the United Kingdom, as well as throughout the entire United States of America. She's received an honorary doctorate degree as Doctor of Humanitarian by the Midwest Theological University. And she's also arranged sponsorship events with the Super Bowl, the NFL Draft, the NBA Draft, and produced events with LL Cool J, Dr. J, Julius Erving Golf Classics event, and organized the medical humanitarian mission to Cuba. Meghan is also an actress, having appeared on numerous commercials and short films. And so, I want to welcome Meghan onto a Time for Truth. Engineer, let's put her on the screen. And there you go. Welcome. How you doing?
I'm doing great. That was a very sentimental slideshow that really brought back many emotions of the amount that has been created over the past years. That was quite unbelievable. Thank you.
It's totally amazing, and it's amazing what you've organized and directed. And so I want to ask you a question: is what inspired you when you finished with University of Maryland to become a humanitarian and start out with drug education?
Well, when I was at the University of Maryland, I had a PR internship with a PR company called Redmond Communications. And I was there from 9 to 5, a couple of days a week. And I was eating during my lunch period by myself in this corporate building in this lunchroom and commuting an hour every morning in the DC highway. I don't remember what it's called, and the belt, I think it's called, and realizing that if I'm going to be doing this every day for God knows how many years, I have to really care about what I'm doing PR for. And so I had a friend of mine who was doing a Drug Free World event and had asked me to help him. And at that time, I really had no interest in children. I never wanted to be a teacher, had no interest in that. But I went along and agreed to do it. And it was definitely life-changing. And I realized, let's create this chapter and make it really big rather than random events here and there. Let's actually make this a real, strong nonprofit in New York.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. I was reading that the program that was established in New York City actually created a 19% drop in teenage drug abuse back in 2016, which was, from what I was reading that you sent me, the first drop of its kind in a decade. So what I wanted to ask you, what made you transition from doing the program? Why did you decide to start this Drug Free World annual gala? And what is that gala about? Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, well, yes, we've made significant inroads in New York. For sure, we are the go-to drug education and prevention organization in New York City and New York State. Everybody knows who we are. We have very strong allies with the New York State PTA. We've sat in and spoken at New York Senate Task Force on heroin and opioid abuse, and we have many, many allies and have really helped people because, number one, there really isn't any drug education organization out there anymore that unfortunately hasn't really been bought out by the people who are pushing drugs. And so Drug Free World has taken a forefront position, if that's the right way to say it, in that we're providing a resource that no one really has access to. In addition to that, our resources are super professional. They're not like some kind of trifold printout from an HP printer where the brochure is pixelated by the time it arrives in the classroom and the kid could care less. They're professional materials that schools don't really have the budget for. Perhaps in New York, we have more money in our schools than in other places in this country, which is probably true. But even that actually makes it even more important what we're doing, because if New York is having budget problems with drug education, imagine the rest of the country. And so for that reason, and because we really were out there working with so many people who had their sleeves rolled up, dealing with the community and the environment, we realized that we needed to acknowledge these people who never get acknowledged. If you attend a charity gala, most likely the person being awarded is some CEO of a corporation or some financial institution. Now, while it's important to acknowledge them if they have contributed to community efforts and if they've made substantial donations, of course, they should be acknowledged. But there are many, many people, in fact, the majority of people who are doing things day in and day out, who never get acknowledged and nor appreciated and never have the opportunity for getting an award. And so we decided to form this gala to really acknowledge those people in New York, and now it's spread internationally, who have their sleeves rolled up and are doing something about it, and who have similar values to Drug Free World. And so we've now awarded more than 120 community leaders. It's actually funny because last year would have been our 13th annual Drug Free Hero Awards Gala. Now, when we had first started creating the graphics for this gala, I thought to myself, maybe we shouldn't have a 13th gala. Maybe we should skip over 13 and make it the 14th annual gala. And I was probably right, because it got canceled, COVID happened, and
here we are now. Well, you know what? It's very interesting that you said that. It's kind of interesting. Let's play something that you sent me, because there's actually a comment from the DA director here in New York, Mr. Hunt, at one of the galas, and the engineer is going to play that right now so the viewers can see what the DEA thought about the Drug Free World Gala and Drug Free World. Please go ahead, engineer.
I'm here with James J. Hunt, who is the special agent in charge of the DEA New York Division. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Yeah. Talk about a little bit about what you do with the drug-free world.
DEA, we're primarily an enforcement agency, a police agency, so we enforce the federal narcotics laws. We basically lock up the biggest drug traffickers in the world. But with that, we know as a police and law enforcement agency, you're never going to tackle the problem of drug abuse alone. So we also work with the educational organizations, rehabilitation organizations. I think it's very important. Educating people like Foundation for Drug Free World are very important, because they help recognize the problem and educate people.
You think prevention is the key?
To solving the problem, yes, because police cannot do it alone. There's always going to be bad guys, and we're very good at catching the bad guys, the Chapo Guzmans of the world. They don't get caught. But if they don't have their bad stuff to sell, there's nothing in it for them. So if the market dries up, they're out of business. So prevention is key.
Some video. So, I'm curious, because all these activities that you're doing, and the program is nonprofit, so where does the sponsorship and the funds come to do this very worthwhile program?
Well, the main sponsor for Foundation for a Drug-Free World is the International Association of Scientologists. In addition to that, we have a lot of local people who sponsor Drug-Free World, including Dr. Fialkoff, who is our primary sponsor for, I don't know, since the beginning, actually. So that's maybe 14 years, 15 years. You have been our main sponsor, which we very much appreciate. Dr. Fialkoff has sponsored. We've been able to do more than 2,000 free drug education events throughout New York State and New Jersey. And that would not have been possible without Dr. Fialkoff and his office financially and emotionally supporting our program. We have lots of other sponsors too that are on our website, including the Diamond Club, a real estate agent, lots of different people. It's on our website that we're very appreciative to. And every year at our gala, individuals sponsor tables. But for sure, if Dr. Fialkoff didn't financially sponsor this, there would have been no drug-free world in New York.
Well, it's very nice of you to say that. But what I was going to say is also, one of the things I know is there were sponsorships from other dental colleagues, professionals, some churches, synagogues, and different entities throughout the tri-state area. We want to acknowledge them, so I really appreciate that. And I know our viewers are probably very, very curious about the gala, and so we have this really beautiful video from the gala that we had, and so that they can actually get a taste of this year's gala and what they could come to, and if they do want to help to further this drug education. Engineer, please put on that video of the gala. Foundation for Drug Free World thanks you for being here tonight and for acknowledging these heroes. It takes passion, teamwork,
and hard work to get anything worthwhile accomplished.
The opportunity to work with the drug-free world has been second to none. I can honestly say to be able to have all of these materials, the pamphlets, the videos that can help teach and educate, teachers and parents on some of these drugs that people have no idea about.
My feeling is that what it's doing is bringing good attention to these everyday heroes that usually don't get publicity and are making it work. So by throwing an event like this, they're encouraging and empowering everyday people who are working very hard to help. And that's a wonderful role.
You know, Meghan, you had told me just the other day why I feel this is so important, that they've actually legalized, what did you say, LSD?
So 6 days ago in California, they signed a bill, I guess it was the Senate here, to basically legalize a certain amount of LSD, psilocybin, which is magic mushrooms, and MDMA, which is ecstasy, for individuals to have in California. And this is unfortunately what will be pushed throughout the country. Similarly with marijuana, that is the agenda. It isn't just about medical marijuana or recreational marijuana. Those are really just what you could call slippery slope stepping stones to the rest of these drugs being allowed throughout the country. And that includes, just like if you're in California or in these Western states, there's marijuana shops and billboards in really quite all over the place. That includes now, when this fully gets passed in a certain way, I don't think it's at this point yet, but when it gets to that point, that means billboards for LSD, stores for ecstasy, where kids can go in and buy ecstasy. Maybe not kids, because they're under 18, but for sure it makes it very accessible and very normalized. So for sure, this gala is very important, especially sponsoring this gala and donating toward the gala, which helps us to make everything that we do possible. If people didn't contribute to our organization, we would not be able to do the work that we do. So right now, as we're getting very close to the gala, we're definitely looking for donations, and we're looking for people who can sponsor the gala. I see they put the link on, which is great. It's drugfreeworldamerica's.org/donate. And your funds will go towards the people that are crucial to getting this work out there. In fact, there's more outreach than we can really keep up with. And so by your donating, you enable us to be able to fulfill all of these requests for schools in the Bronx and Brooklyn and Staten Island and places in upstate New York that you haven't probably heard of, where they are also asking for this. None of this would be possible without your donation. So please do, go to this link, donate, become a monthly donor. This is vital for us to be able to continue this work, especially in a climate where it's becoming increasingly harder to communicate a message like this. And so now is the time to donate. Now is the time to contribute, because there will not be future times if it goes too far.
It's I can't agree with you more that, as we do this program, the importance is our families. If we really look at it, our kids are the future of our communities, of our families, of the country. And so when you look at drugs, one of the facts is that most shootings, really most crime, muggings, all of these things that none of us want in our community are associated with drug use. So you know what? It's great to have you on the show. We're getting near the end. I wanted to ask you a question because the gala is going to come up. When is the actual date for the gala?
It's Thursday, April 22nd It starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 o'clock Pacific Time. It will be held on Zoom. And if you would like to attend the gala, you can do so by RSVPing by emailing drugfreeworldny@gmail.com. The NY stands for New York. So drugfreeworldny@gmail.com. That's where you can register. We would love to have you attend the event. And of course, we would love to have you donate toward the event.
And then, and participate, take it to your church, take it to your synagogue, take it to your mosque, take it to a sporting activity, a dance activity. Let's safeguard our communities. Action is what matters. So what I want to ask you, Meghan, as we come to a close, is what message do you feel that you want to put out to the viewers out there in terms of what you feel that they should do in the next year, next few months, to make it a safer community and safer for our families?
Sometimes people think that nothing can be done about it and it's too late, or they feel a bit bullied that maybe they can't do the right thing. And what I would like to say is that is kind of the role that Drug Free World has taken now, is we are there to provide you two legs to stand on, and that you can speak up and you can fight back and you can do something about it. And perhaps this generation, it's too late, but there is a future generation. In fact, I just had a son who's almost 8 months, and they are the hope of our country, and ensuring that people lead healthy and active lives and achieving their goals. And that is what we are all about. And you can speak up and do something, and Drug Free World will back you up for sure. So utilize our free materials on drugfreeworld.org, attend our gala, and please donate if you can.
Absolutely, drugfreeworld.org. And I want, in the moment that we have, as we're getting near the end, to acknowledge all those athletes and people in the community who really lead. Globetrotter Bobby Hunter, NFL superstar Marshall Falk, Jim Brewer from the NBA, Hugh Sanan, who's at the United Nations, Anthony Miranda, who's so active in New York City, politics and community affairs, Manny Rodriguez, David Tidman, Tamik Williams, Noah Burrows, it goes Jose Nunez upstate in Rockland, who with the police department, and Al Amoros, really the whole NYPD, who have been so helpful. And, Meghan, all these people you've gotten involved, all this, the Miss Teen and Miss State of this and Miss State of that. And we look forward to having you. Meghan, it was a pleasure to have you today. And we look forward to going to this gala and to making it a very safe world for our families. We will see you at the gala and our next show for A Time for Truth. Have a great day. See you then.
Thank you so much.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard. You don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got, but the world takes you down. You just keep moving on. Let your feet